gentlemen, this is the Pinstripe Chronicles Unfiltered. And I'm looking forward to bringing you some content today because we have a lot to talk about. We had the Little League Series that we want to talk about, and we had Clay Holmes pitching like a little leaguer that we want to talk about too. This Yankee bullpen is a mess, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, and I'm going to get stuck into it. That's what I'm going to do today. So it's going to be solo for now, but we're going to get NFE to join us very, very soon. He's going to help us out because Uncle Tats has got a family thing that he needs to deal with at home. So we send our best to him. And Rob is unable to make it too. We send our best to Rob as well. So first of all, I want to say a big hello to everyone in the chat. So let's start off with those in the chat. Let's get everyone in the chat. Let's say hello to everyone. Hit that like button first of all, right? Let's hit the like button before we get into this stuff because I got a lot to say. As Anthony Garcia says here, great deadline moves, Cashman. Yep, exactly. Medina's in the house. Salute Medina. Dev, what is up, Dev? FJ in the house, Lou in the house, Joe Coelho in the house, Jared in the house, Mr. Barros in the house. We got Jared, we got everybody in the house. John the Beagle Dad already in saying hello in the morning. We got Frank. D-Train, what is up? D-Train, what is up to you, my brother? So let's say a few things here, okay? Clear my throat for this. It's a little early for this, but I am pissed. Right? So here's the thing about Aaron Boone saying that Clay Holmes was fine. Oh, he was fine. Yeah, Clay Holmes was fine. He was absolutely fine. You know, it's literally in his job description to close games. Yes, Jason, we will be talking about Clay Holmes. That's what we're doing right now. It's literally in his job description to close games, right? He's a closer, right? So thus, his job is to close games. It's in his job description. If your job description is, let's say, a pool cleaner, right? Swimming pool cleaner. That's in your job description, right? And at the end of your working day, that swimming pool isn't clean. That means you're not doing your job. So, if Clay Holmes is in his job description closer and he's blown more saves than everyone else in the entire majors, that means that you're not doing your freaking job. It's literally in his job description. Clay Holmes, can you close games? Do you have any mental problems? Right? Do you have any disabilities or illnesses that we need to be aware of? Right there in the fine print, right underneath that. Clay Holmes, can you close games? He can't close games. It's ridiculous. And he continues to get rewarded for not doing his job. That's what it all comes down to. He gets rewarded for not doing his job. And I'm sick of it. Because if this Yankee team is to do anything in October, and I mean anything, if this team is going to do anything on October, it should be a meritocracy. It should be your best players playing in your best position, giving your team the best chance to win. It shouldn't be about playing favorites, because you know Aaron Boone loves to play his favorites. It should be about a meritocracy. So this meritocracy means that Clay Holmes should never close again. I don't want him to see another frickin' ninth inning. He needs to be in the 7th or 8th inning. That's a fact, right? What has Leiter done, other than Brian Cashman screwing this thing up by dealing him? What has Mark Leiter done to earn being a setup man? He's been a disaster since coming here. He's got a 6+ ERA. He should be getting low leverage innings. It should be a meritocracy, right? You find someone else to do these. Cousins should be the closer, if anything, right? It should be a meritocracy. Why is Austin Wells not playing every single frickin' day? He should be. 4 out of 5 days he should be playing. But most of the time, since Trevino came back, it's Trevino's job, right? So there you go. It's not a meritocracy. Peraza hits a home run. And did you see him the next day? Did you? Hell. It's not a meritocracy. Right? Verdugo, his numbers are horrendous. And it's been horrendous for about 3 months. He plays every single day. It's not a meritocracy. So, if this team is to do anything in October, it should be your best players playing in your best positions, giving your team the best chance to win. Right? They don't do it because we hear excuses. We get more excuses. We get Clay Holmes getting paraded out there, and you see him getting puffed up, and the dude is trash. The dude is ass. And Brian Cashman had a horrendous trade deadline. It was a horrendous trade deadline. He hit it out of the park with Jazz Chisholm and then went to bed after that because the lighter deal is bad and far too expensive in terms of prospects. We lost a really good guy in Neely. Neely could have done his job and better. And De Los Santos, who is so freaking shit, I could have told him that for free. De Los Santos got lit up in San Diego. People in SoCal contacted me and they're like, this dude is ass. And Brian Cashman made that deal. Terrible deal. And he's now been DFA'd. And I think he's gone to the White Sox, which says it all. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about. I'm pretty annoyed, really. I'm pretty freaking annoyed. But I'm also kind of apathetic to this because this has been the same complaints that I've had for years. I've been saying this for years, and nothing changes, and nothing will change until there's some accountability in this organization. But as Rajil the Great says, hit that like button for us, okay? And then while we do so, we're going to introduce, as Rajil says, slap that like if you're annoyed too. I'm annoyed. So while we do that, let's introduce my special guest for today. It's NFE from the Strike Zone. Give a big salute to the Strike Zone. NFE is very kind to join us last minute with all that's been going on behind the scenes. Unfortunately, my two regular co-hosts couldn't make it, but my man NFE steps up to the plate as always, doing a phenomenal job with his channel, the Strike Zone. So if you haven't already done so, go over there and sub up to his channel. NFE, how are you, my guy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Just yeah, you hit me up. I was like, whoa, we got some
Right.
issues this morning. But no, shout out to you though, man, and also shout out to Uncle Tats because on Thursday I got a phone call from my brother to drop my nephew off to school because he missed the bus, and I had Nathan on with me. I was like, yo, let me go do this, run the show, and I asked Tats if he can jump on real quick. So him and Nathan like ran it until I came back. So I'm like, this is what we do, man. We try to help each other out as best as possible. So
That's right. We're family. It's all
yeah,
part of the family here.
yeah, but
NFB, what did you think of? Let's start with of yesterday's game, the Little League game. Let's start with that.
yeah, real quick, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see everybody saying what's up. Stephen B, John the Beagle Dad, D Train, Mr. Barros, K, Anthony Garcia, what's going on?
You know
John
it.
the Beagle Dad, Razil, what's up, guys? What's up? What is going on? But yeah, I mean, yesterday's Little League game, dude. I love seeing those kids play. I love, what up, Medina? Salute to you, sir. Hopefully everything is well with you, as always. What up, Blue? But Little League, man. I mean, I like seeing the kids play. What can I say, man? They go out there, they play their best. I mean, sometimes they play better than Major League Baseball teams. They play with more heart.
Wow.
They're the hopefully they're the future stars of the sport. Hopefully we see some of those names. When they grow up, hopefully we see some of those names at the Major League Baseball level. So, but those kids had a good time also at the game last night. You can tell like it was just a memorable game, man. I mean, I don't know, it's Little League. There's what else is there to say? I just like watching these kids play because they play with such passion and they have fun doing it. So
What I loved was how cool the Yankees were. Spending time with them, taking pictures with them, signing autographs with them, sitting with them in Jazz Chisholm's case. He was like literally sitting beside them. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's just so cool, man. And I can't say enough about Juan Soto, Garrett Cole, and Jazz Chisholm. They all did some really cool stuff for the fans. Same with Aaron Judge. I believe Aaron Judge gave his hat to a fan. Garrett Cole signed a kid's hat. Um, and Juan Soto was very cool. Took an interview during the game from a kid, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw Jazz Chisholm literally sitting beside a bunch of the little leaguer, of a bunch of the kids, and just hanging with them. I think he's got a friend for life now. Apparently, uh, he's gonna hit him up. And during the interview with Jazz Chisholm on air, Jazz Chisholm said that there's a kid that absolutely like he's his favorite player, and Jazz has promised that he's gonna help him from here on out. Anything he needs, he's gonna help him out. Any kind of baseball equipment, anything at all with his future, he's gonna help him. I mean, that's just shows just what a special guy he is, and it just shows the total nonsense from the media that Jazz Chisholm is some sort of locker room cancer. This guy's the absolute opposite. He's a joy, much needed joy to this organization. He's a good guy, big smile on his face, and he plays with joy. And he's one of the positive things about this organization, Jazz Chisholm. So, a big shout out to the Yankees that really took the time for those kids. So it's really important to before I go into who sucks and who's ass, and there's quite a few of those. I really want to accentuate that they did things yesterday which will be memories of a lifetime for these kids. These kids now have a memory of a lifetime that their superheroes sat with them, talked to them, signed in their autographs, did their thing with them. I think it's an absolute league cool thing. And if I was a little leaguer and Juan Soto or Aaron Judge or Garrett Cole came over and signed my stuff, I'd be made up for life. Like it's because we idolize these guys, but they're just human beings. But we idolize them because you know they're ball players and they're Yankees. So as Raziel says here, lifetime memories. And if what do you think about that?
No, you spoke straight facts, man. And then there's also Giancarlo Stanton, interacting with the kids too. There was a video clip of him hanging out with the kids. But that's what it was about, man. The Yankees lost yesterday, but it was just I know yesterday's game was special because they were just playing in front of the kids, and it was more for the kids, if anything. So. It was a good time, man. It was a good time. Hopefully, there's something for those kids to truly remember. I mean, they should know that they're lucky and they're fortunate to hang out with these ball players. Guys that they watch on TV and they see them in real life, man. I mean, it's unreal from Orlando.
Salute to Aiden in the chat, the new member of the chat. If you have recently subbed up, salute to you, Aiden. Thank you very much. And if he's sorry about that.
No, it's all good. No, that's all I got though. It was just it was just cool for those kids to hang out with the players. For Jazz Chisholm to be doing what he's doing, man, to hang out with those kids in the stands, hang out with the families. I'm like, dude, that's awesome, man. He just wants to know that, yeah, it's like I might be a Major League Baseball player, but I'm still a human being at the end of the day. As far as Jazz's attitude, I mean, he probably just wasn't happy playing with the Marlins. I mean, that's probably what it was. But I think he's, always been a pretty positive guy. He seems like a very happy guy. I think he's just in a better place playing for the Yankees now. So I think that's what it was with Jazz.
Well, yeah, I believe it's a dream of his. I believe it was always a dream of his.
Yeah, he likes the Yankees, and he was an A-Rod fan too. So
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. It was kind of perfect. It was a perfect deal, and I'll give Cashman a lot of credit for that because I think there was some people that didn't really rate Jazz because he just looked at his strikeout numbers or his numbers in Florida as if that told the whole story. You have to bear in mind the guy was playing in front of about 6 people and a dog in Marlins stadium.
Yeah.
They were going nowhere, and it's. He's a big personality guy, and he wants to play in the brightest lights, and you're not going to get that in Florida. Florida is basically Yankee fans. It's full of Yankee
Yeah,
fans in Miami. It is. Been to
yeah.
Miami a couple times. Loved it.
Hmm.
But it's full of Yankee fans, so there's not going to be too many Marlin fans there. There's about 7 people there in Marlin games, so it was an irrelevant situation for him. Now he's going to New York, and he's getting the spotlight that he needs. His personality needs. Some people just need a personality just to have as a personality that they need. The vibrance and the energy and the I was going to say accountability, but that doesn't exist with the Yankees. But the the expectations and that helps him, and it's obviously helped him because he's been great, and he can't come back soon enough. We got Luca in the chats, my brother. Happy birthday to Luca! Everyone say happy birthday to Luca.
Oh, happy
This is my
birthday.
bro's 21st birthday.
Oh, this is your
He is
brother?
my guy. Salute, Luca. My man. My man. So let's get stuck into this shit. This bullpen is a flaming dumpster fire. Um, I want to start with Lighter. Why did we make this deal? NFE, explain to me, why did we bring in Lighter? What did they see?
I mean, if I had to guess, they needed somebody now in the bullpen, right? I mean, a fresh arm. Well, first off, they needed an arm. They needed an arm or two. One of them didn't work out, obviously, and he got DFA'd, picked up by the White Sox on waivers. So with Leiter, it was just they needed they needed an arm, and this guy, was a strikeout guy, and they needed somebody that can help them win now. That would be as to why they got Leiter. There was other options that they could have picked up at the deadline, but were you willing to give up a bunch of prospects to get Tanner Scott for a 2 or 3 month rental? Because you saw what the Padres gave up, and I'll give credit to the Padres. I mean, their GM has a lot of balls. I mean, their minor league system now, their farm is kind of depleted by getting Tanner Scott, but they also want to win, and they have been playing well. I'll give them that, but um, what I don't. Yeah, it's just it doesn't. I don't know. I was hoping it would have worked out. I don't care, man. You could put me on the spot all you want. I get put on the spot every day, bro. So I'm in survival mode every single day. So, but yeah, but nah, it's just they as far as the market goes, they just couldn't. All the other pitching options that they were going after, it was too expensive for the Yankees. What that is, I don't know. But would I have loved Tanner Scott? Absolutely. But I wasn't. Me personally, I wasn't willing to give up a bunch of prospects for him. Not for a rental. Not for a 3 month rental. Personally, because that would have been like Spencer Jones. That would have been Arias. That would have been possibly Lombard. I mean, those are some big names. So, would you have been willing to give up those guys for?
Absolutely not. But
Okay,
again, it's not. It doesn't have to be one or the other. There were other names. Fairbanks. We were supposed to have gotten Fairbanks. Remember, after the Jazz Chisholm deal, Fairbanks looked like it was going to be the next thing that was going to happen.
I would have liked Fairbanks, but who? But the question is, who did they ask for?
But it looked like it was in place. But then, for whatever reason, it just disappeared off the ether, and we never heard anything
Yeah,
about it again, which is very freaking strange, right?
yeah.
So there were other names. There were other bullpen names. Well, there was
Mhm.
bullpen names being moved around most of the trade deadline. Now, yes, I do agree with Cashman that there was a premium price on bullpen names because that's how important bullpen arms are. But Cashman went cheap because Leiter throws 90 miles an hour, 91, tops off,
Yeah,
uh, and he's in the NL Central. Now, you don't move someone from the NL Central to The AL East, one of the most unforgiving divisions in baseball, along with the NL East, and then expect that everything's going to be solved. That's not going to solve everything doing that. So I thought that was and also I thought giving up Neely was a weird one. Neely's someone that we should have called up far before we even considered trading him, in my opinion. So I really felt that that was a mistake. And I don't know, man. Like as a middle relief guy, fine, but as a setup guy, not fine. And then the De Los Santos deal, 14 ERA. That means that on average you're giving up 14 runs on an average. Not even the original Murderers Row. Not even the 2009 Yankees could keep up with that kind of shit. If your reliever's giving up an ERA of 14. And that's what Brian Cashman did. He just slunk in there, thought that he could buy us off with an 11th hour dumb deal for someone who was getting lit up like the car in The Godfather. The guy is getting blown up like that car in The Godfather, and apparently it's okay because hey, we made a deal. It was a shitty deal. I'd rather you don't make a deal at all than a shitty deal than land us with someone with a 15 ERA.
Yeah, but if they didn't make a deal for a bullpen arm, then fans would have been complaining about that as well. Just to throw it out there.
Well, I don't think anybody wanted De Los Santos. No one wanted De Los Santos. Not a single person wanted De Los Santos. People in SoCal didn't want De Los Santos. So it was a mistake. And there's not enough podcasters out there that just call shit for shit. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm calling shit for shit. Brian Cashman, get your shit together. Now, we've got another special guest, and it's my boy from the 4 Chain Express. What is up, Mazza, my boy? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
It's great to see you, man. I haven't seen you in ages. Loving the buzz cut. You're looking like a badass motherfucker. Loving it, bro. That. Looking like a badass.
So, we had it. So supposedly the deal was we were getting Chisholm, and then there was talks of them being extremely close to getting Fairbanks, which you had stated. I don't exactly know the pieces going over that would have gone over to Tampa in that deal, but I do know that the only piece I do think was supposed to go over was Arias, and they weren't willing to do that. De Los Santos I'd never heard of before he got traded over here.
Dude's ass.
As far as I'm concerned, the Yankees, like I said, they could have done more. We all know they could have done more. With the De Los Santos deal was supposed to be, what does he have? He's got controllable years, doesn't he, De Los Santos?
We DFA'd him.
Oh, we DFA'd him already.
Oh yeah, he was DFA'd last week because he gave us.
He got picked up by the White Sox.
Oh, he got picked up by the White Sox, so that ended up being a bust. But it didn't have to be Tanner Scott. It didn't even have to be Fairbanks, who's now injured, by the way, just to put that out there. It could have been a guy like Jojo Reyes from fucking St. Louis, or Ryan Helmsley from St. Louis. Right. It could have been either one of those two. It didn't have to be Fairbanks. It doesn't look like the Cardinals are going to be competing for the next, few years. They're starting to retool so they can compete. Mm-hmm. But they could have gone to St. Louis and said, hey, what is it going to take to get JoJo or Ryan from you? What would we have to give up? I'm not saying they probably didn't do that, but they could have tried to work something out. The other move I was really hoping they would have made was Carlos Estevez, who got traded to the Phillies. Or
that's a good deal.
They could have called the Philadelphia for Gregory Soto, who ended up going to Baltimore.
Facts.
So why not? I mean, I'm sure they did what they were supposed to do, which was check in, see what they would cost them. But I don't know how much further it went from that if they did, in fact, check in with those teams. Then they went out and got De Los Santos, who ended up being a bust, got cut, is now with the White Sox.
Which says it all.
Mark Leiter, I don't have an issue with, but I don't think he is the answer for the closer's role.
Well, he's definitely not an answer to the setup role either.
Maybe a sixth, seventh inning guy,
Yeah.
I'm okay with. But I have a feeling they're going to address the closer's role in the offseason, or they're going to have to. Or we just go in with, the same shit show that we're dealing with now. But the priority is getting Soto locked up. But I think by getting Jazz, it kind of lessened the blow of the pitching in a way because Jazz brings so much energy. Again, that's just my opinion. But the pitching front, they could have definitely done more with.
Yeah. Let's talk about Clay Holmes. Right, on a scale of 1 to 10, start with NFV. How much do you trust Clay Holmes?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 6.
You trust 6 out of 10? That's really high. All right.
There's times where there's times where he shows up, man. I mean, I know he's got 10 blown saves. That sucks. That's unacceptable. But there's times when he does show up. And then real quick about the whole Leiter thing. I don't want to go back to Leiter, but that guy should never be put in a closer type role. Never, ever, ever. I know he had that one really good outing against the Phillies. That was solid, but that was great. But there were some fans on Twitter that were like, "Oh, this guy he's a strikeout pitcher. Maybe they should put him as a closer." I'm like, "No, stop now. Stop that noise." So, Leiter should never be considered in a closer role. But it's just, the thing with Holmes too is just, yeah, he's got 10 blown saves, but we also got to remember that some of those saves was not. Yeah, he was responsible for getting those guys on base, but there was also defensive errors in the infield too. A lot of people are forgetting that. And you can say to me, yeah, well, that wouldn't have happened in the first place if you didn't put these guys on base. Well, you know what? Those guys still have a job to do in the infield. If you're not making those plays that you should be making, then that's also an issue too. But I trust Clay Holmes in the closer role just as much as I do anybody else on this staff right now. I mean, who else are you gonna put in there?
Well, I would suggest Cousins for one because he's actually got a swing and miss slider.
He does. I'll give him that, but there's times where he kind of, he has his moments too. We saw him.
Yeah, but a lot less moments than Clay Holmes does. I can't think of a time where Cousins has completely flatlined the team like Clay Holmes has on a number of occasions. So I would consider him. I would say Weaver, although I think Weaver is more important to pitch multi innings, but he's got better stuff.
Yeah, I like Weaver where he is.
Yeah, I do too. But he's got better stuff, but there's not a lot of options. I'll give you that. We don't have a ton of options.
Right.
So you're going 6. Let's ask my boy Maza.
I'd probably be about a 5, only because we don't have anyone else. We don't really have many options. There weren't really many options for closer available. There were a few closer options, don't get me wrong, but there weren't a plethora of closers available. But with that being said, the Yankees need to make that adjustment, knowing that Holmes is struggling on occasions, knowing that he does have 10 blown saves. A few of those aren't. Yes, he put the guys on base, but the defense got to make the plays as well, like NFE said. However, I don't know if there's really anyone else that could close for us, unless you do a closer by committee, which is also an option for them.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
Michael Tonkin, I wouldn't mind seeing close the game. He did it before. He did it in Philly.
That's true.
you could do that, or you could just do a closer by committee thing where you say one day you're going to close, one day you're going to close until the off season, and then try to pick up a closer. Maybe Tanner Scott if he hasn't been signed in the off season by the time you get to that point. But I mean, right now I'm giving it a 5 out of 10.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna give him a 0 out of 10 for the 10 blown saves. So here's the thing. So there's a couple of things. There's a couple of fake narratives out there. One of which soft contact. Okay, right. He's given up 40 base runners in 28 innings. If you put that amount of base runners on in his last 28 innings, he's got 40 base runners on. That's 32 hits and 8 walks over that time. If you put that amount of traffic on base, you're leaving yourself open to this kind of stuff happening. If you immediately put a runner on to start an inning, the statistical chances of that person scoring is like exponentially higher, right? So you can blame it on soft contact, you can blame it on hard contact, you can blame it on a freaking bad fart. It's still contact. And if you're putting that amount of traffic on in the 9th inning, shit can go wrong. Because the 9th inning is a different beast than any other inning. It certainly is, right? These teams have their tails up and they think, I've got a chance here. Plus, the Yankees can't throw anybody out. We know that from our catchers, especially Trevino. So if you got a runner at first and nobody out, they could steal second and they're already in scoring position, right? And or if you're talking about the extra inning ghost runner rule, they're already in scoring position. So I don't care about contact with Clay Holmes. He's giving up too much contact, hard or soft, right? It happens. It happens. Just look at the blown save that Mariano Rivera had in the 2001 World Series. There wasn't a ball that was hit out of the infield, right? There was a broken bat single, stolen base, an error, and a pop-up to shortstop that scored the winning run in the World Series. So none of that was hard contact. So it doesn't matter. Hard or soft, doesn't matter. Another thing, the defense hasn't stepped up. Well, to be honest, let's not forget the defense actually saved his ass in the first 2 games of the season. Juan Soto threw a miracle throw from right field to get the guy out in the 9th inning, or else we would have lost the opening day. Juan Soto saved it, right? And I believe Clay Holmes should have had 2 blown saves in that series alone, that opening series against Houston, and Juan Soto saved the day. So it goes both ways. So when Aaron Boone, and not talking NFL, and saying Aaron Boone said it yesterday, he's just been really bad luck. It's just been really, really bad luck. Well, has it now? Because he's actually benefited from some unbelievable plays. I know for a fact that Gleyber Torres has made some great plays. Volpe made some unbelievable plays at short. And I know that Soto's made some great plays. And all of it, and I remember Grisham, he ran like freaking Lyles to get to a ball in the gap. So to be honest, there should be 3 or 4 more blown saves on top of it. So I don't want to hear about soft contact, hard contact, bad luck, good luck, blah, blah. He's not getting the job done. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. He's not getting the job done. And the more the Yankees gaslight ourselves and gaslight themselves, the more chance that we are going to have of having a really bad October. Because I'm telling you guys now, you can bookmark it, you can come back to me now, but I'm telling you now, if Clay Holmes is a closer in October, this team is not going to win the World Series. It's just not going to happen.
Also, the offense hasn't helped.
We'll get to that in a minute, but we're going to focus on the bullpen because they have given up like 20 plus earned runs over the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, the bullpen has been the biggest problem. Our offense has been generally fine until this past 2 series. So that's what it comes down to. He's not getting the job done. He needs to be Aaron Boone's gaslighting us if he thinks that he can close. He needs to be moved to the 8th inning, and we need a 9th inning guy. Now, who is that ninth inning guy? I have no earthly idea because you guys are right. We don't have an option. I think Cousins is the best one, but he's not exactly a closer. Maybe Tonkin, maybe Weaver, maybe. But I mean, that just shows how bad our bullpen situation is. It's freaking terrible. The only hope that we have is maybe Hamilton comes in when he gets back from injury, and he could provide us those innings because Hamilton does have some swing and miss stuff. He's pretty good. But this is on Brian Cashman. He has put together this no-name bullpen, and it's been a disaster now. It held its own, but he had to augment it at the deadline. He did not augment it, and now we are in trouble, and now we're costing us games, and it's possibly going to cost us the division, and it's certainly going to cost us in October. You can lock that down 100%. Who disagrees with you? Let's start with that.
Isn't Efros coming back soon, though?
Efros, yeah, but he doesn't really have swing. I mean, he kind of throws a little soft. He's got an interesting arm angle, but I don't think he's got power stuff that I want from a closer. I would say Hamilton's probably a little better. D-Train says, facts, Donald, good points on those defensive plays that saved his bacon. The defense has blown some saves, but at the same time gave him some saves. Exactly. So Aaron Boone kind of just, in order to fall over himself and gaslight himself and ourselves, he's actually shot on his defense, who have actually saved Clay Holmes' bacon on a number of occasions. As I say, if you put 40 people on base in 28 innings, the chances of contact and a chance of balls going through the gap, chances of balls going through the infield are very high. Now let's start with the NFE. Do you disagree with anything that I say? What would you critique?
You went through a lot, so where do I begin?
Go for it.
Look, as far as the closer role goes, I mean, Mazza mentioned something about closer by committee. Maybe that's the route that they need to go. They maybe needs to be situational. If Clay Holmes is not the guy, then who is it? Because I'm not. Listen, I like Jake Cousins. He's got some hidden. He's got some swing and miss stuff. He does. I'll give him that. But are we willing to? Do I trust him in the closer role? I mean, you could give him a shot, but I'm going to say no. Right, I'm not going to put Tonkin in there. Tonkin's good. I like Tonkin, but I like where he is right now. You brought up Ian Hamilton. Now, listen, I remember there was one game they put Ian Hamilton in there to close out the game.
Yeah.
I think it was against the Blue Jays, if I'm not mistaken. He almost blew it.
Oh, yeah.
I know it was only one game, but it was just like, Ian Hamilton's a beast, but I'm like, yeah, he's better off as a setup guy. Right now, the Yankees don't have a choice. And we knew that going into this season, they were going to go with Clay Holmes anyway. We had to accept it. There's times where he looks great. Other times he doesn't look great, and I agree with Medina. I think Hamilton is a 1-inning pitcher. I absolutely agree with Medina on that one. What's up, man?
Salute to Jared. Salute to D-Train. Thanks for joining, D-Train. Salute to you, my guy.
Yeah, but I agree with Medina. Medina says that Hamilton is a 1-inning pitcher. You're not going to hear an argument from me on that one because that's what I think of Ian Hamilton. I think he's just a guy that you bring him in, he gets the guys out, and then all right, let's carry on. But there's no other choice right now. Right now the Yankees are, whether us fans like it or not, they're gonna ride with Clay Holmes till the end of the season, and then into the postseason. And then what happens after, we'll see. But I'm definitely not. If I'm the Yankees, as far as if they're gonna reunite, if they're gonna come to an agreement, I'm not giving him a fat contract. That's for sure. No. That's something I'm not doing. I'm not giving him I'm not going to give him a fat contract. Like I wouldn't. I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't give Clay Holmes over. Like if it was up to me, I wouldn't go over $12 million.
Oh God, are you kidding?
I'm only bringing that number up because there's a premium, as we talk about, right, with pitching. right? So I'm just, you see what these guys are getting paid. I mean, you saw what freaking Josh Hader got paid, which is ridiculous for a closer. But I'm saying he's going to try and command a lot of money. I just hope that the Yankees don't give him that. But who would you get as a closer in the offseason? I mean, maybe you do try and go after Tanner Scott, but he's going to ask for more, right? So because Tanner Scott,
this season is proving how important a closer is. You can't just and that's what Cashman's big mistake was in the offseason and the trade deadline was he almost de-emphasized the importance of a closer. You need to have a good closer.
Yeah, you do. But the other thing, real quick, I just want to say with Holmes, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not back this after the season. I wouldn't be back because the Yankees have a lot of pitching right now in their farm, and they also have drafted a bunch of pitching too. So again, we'll see what goes on. And there was a name that I know you brought up, Jack Neely. I mean, I'm still. Yeah, so Medina says he would absolutely not re-sign Holmes. Listen, my heart would not be broken if they didn't re-sign Holmes.
That's for sure.
I'll say like that. If they do bring him back, it better be reasonable, but they should still go out and find a better closer.
If they brought him back to be an eighth inning guy, fine.
Yeah,
you're not going to get a complaint from me. He's got two nice pitches. You got a decent sinker and you got a nice slider, but you cannot ride him out in the ninth inning. You just cannot do it. And I don't know why the Yankees are willingly sacrificing the season in order to prove themselves that they're right. That's a mistake. They need to stop gaslighting themselves and us that he can do the job in the ninth inning. He can't. Give it a try to someone else. You're telling me that they couldn't screw up as many times as Clay Holmes has? Let's turn it over to Mazza. What do you think about what we're talking about, my man?
Right now, we don't have options. We don't. Realistically, we have zero options. We don't have anyone that can replace Holmes. So we are stuck with Holmes. And I know fans don't want to hear it. And I know it's going to piss a lot of people off. We don't have options. We don't have people that we can just say, hey, you're going to go close. That's not how that works. We don't have the options. Again, Clay Holmes is who we are going to be stuck with. It's just like Gleyber Torres. And I bring him up because he's been god-awful this year, but we don't have a replacement for him. So we are stuck with Clay Holmes for the rest of the season. After this year, don't be surprised to see him gone because he's probably not coming back. Same with Gleyber Torres. However, in that same retrospect, you have to look at what you do have. Maybe piece something together. Like I said before, do a bullpen or closer by committee. Because if that's going to save your season, save your season, then do it. Because if there are people who don't think Holmes is good, they don't think Holmes should be the closer. You know what? Then do the closer by committee, because the closer by committee might be the only option that you have. And your hand for the bullpen is not very good right now. We all know it. We all see it. The bullpen's been shaky. We all have seen that. So go by the closer by committee. Reassess in the offseason. See if maybe you can get a Tanner Scott. Maybe you have to spend the extra money on top of Soto to get Tanner Scott. Or maybe try to make a deal in the offseason with some of your prospects, and so you're not hugging your prospects. Maybe give up a Chase Hampton or something, because we already have a plethora of pitching behind that we drafted, that we have in the system. Make a deal where it involves Chase Hampton to try to get you a top-of-the-line closer if you have to. But right now, you have to go with your best option, and that would be closer by committee, because we don't have any other options. Right now, where our hand has been forced, we don't have multiple options like other teams may have. So take Baltimore, for example. They've got Kimbrel, they've got Soto, they've got this, they've got that. We don't have that luxury. We have to play the hand that we're dealt. The hand that we've been dealt is not very good. Do the closer by committee for the rest of the season and roll with that. And then in the offseason, reassess, go back to the drawing board, try to sign Tanner Scott if you want, or try to make a deal with some of the prospects that you have to get yourself a couple of pitchers for the bullpen. Doesn't have to be the biggest name, but if they are a rock solid arm that can close, go get them. You're trying to make it more appealing for your fan base, and that's the way to do it. Just like how they went out and got Soto this offseason, that was more appealing to the fan base. You have to figure out a way to make your team better if you're not going to spend the money.
Well, I mean, while I don't disagree, in fact, you're quite spot on. They have to do something in the offseason. But here's the problem: we're already talking about the offseason, and we're only in August, and we're very much in the hunt for the division, and we're heading into October, and we've only guaranteed Juan Soto until the end of the season. That's just the only time we're guaranteed. So while we're already looking to the future about who we can look at and target in the future, we've still very much got a season right now. And we are willingly screwing up this season because we're relying on somebody that can't do their job. And that's my point. It's like you're guaranteed Juan Soto until the end of the season. So why are they not going all in? That's why I didn't understand why they didn't make that deal for Fairbanks, even if it did cost Arias. You're going all in. You have to win this season. You've got Juan Soto having a historic year. You got Aaron Judge having a historic year. So even if you take away the fact that this is Soto's walk year, you're having two players having historic seasons. Juan Soto's having a semi-career year, and so is Aaron Judge. You're not guaranteed that next season. Even if Soto extends for us for the next 12 years, you're not guaranteed that he's going to have as great a season right now, and that Aaron Judge is going to continue to hit 60 home runs every season because he is over 30. So you can't be guaranteed these things. But we got it right now, and we're not going all in right now, which is completely lopsided management. That is my point. Now, I've actually been fairly positive with Brian Cashman's moves this past year. So it's not all about, Brian Cashman can't do this, he can't do that. His Soto deal is phenomenal. Most of his deals have been phenomenal, apart from Verdugo, but that I think Aaron Judge kind of forced his hand there. Most of his deals have worked out very well, apart from these two bullpen moves with De Los Santos and Leiter. He had to get in a better arm. He had to. He failed, and now we're in a bit of a spot. So I'm going to go with D-Train here right now. Cousins is our hottest reliever. I would give him a look at closer. It can't be any worse. Exactly. As I've said, Holmes has an ERA which is approaching 4 over his last 28 innings, and he's got 40 base runners, and he doesn't miss any bats. You can't win like that. So anyway, that's the bullpen. We've still got some stuff to talk about. We still have our awards. So let's hurry through some of that stuff. What did you guys think about Dominguez getting called up as the 27th man? And then what did you guys think about the double pump? Why did he pump fake and before throwing to home plate? He probably would have gotten the runner. Let's start with NFE.
I think it was hesitation. I mean, that's what it was. I mean, I don't know what else it was. I thought it was just something with his feet, but with his the stuttering of his feet. But then looking at the replay again, it's like he double clutched his arm, and I'm like, oh, that was your opportunity right there. He should have thrown the guy out. He should have been able to throw the guy out. If he didn't double clutch, he would have thrown that runner out. Period. I thought he would have. Yeah, he would have. And I thought, and honestly, I thought I was like, okay, he's going to get him, because when that ball was hit, I was like, oh, dude, he's going to get him out. I was like, he could throw him out, but no, he double pumped his arm, and I think it was just hesitation. I think it was just hesitation. I think he, I don't know what else it could have been. I mean, I think he hesitated and overthought. I mean, I don't know what else it was. I mean, I was glad to see Dominguez get called up. He didn't. Oh yeah, and I'm not blaming him at all, there, Medina, for why the
Oh
team
yeah, I'm
lost.
just asking
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah.
You know, I'm
I
not
am
blaming
definitely
anyone. I'm just
I'm
asking the
definitely
question.
not blaming Dominguez for that. I'm just saying that he hesitated on that throw. I'm not saying that's the reason why they lost, but if he didn't double pump on that ball, on that throw, he would have gotten the guy out. But you know, it sucks, but yeah, I'm definitely not blaming Dominguez. I'm not blaming Dominguez for that loss.
Salute Mello. Maza, what did you think about the Dominguez?
Oh, Medina's saying there was a few people that were saying that. Okay, yeah, I don't agree with that one, Medina. Sorry, I was reading the comment.
It could be a number of things. We don't know what it was. Maybe he just hesitated because it's a rookie mistake. Maybe he didn't have a good grip on the ball when he wanted to throw it. That could be it too. We just don't know. My guess is he probably got a little gun shy there, hesitated, being that he's a rookie, and he didn't make the throw at first. He double clutched, and you know it happens. It's what happens to rookies. They're not used to the big stage. They're not used to being in that atmosphere. They're used to being, in the minors and developing and playing in smaller ballparks, whatever it may be. Or it could have been he didn't have a good grip, and had he thrown it, it could have sailed. So like I said, we don't know what it was. My guess is he probably just, double clutch because he's a rookie and he's not, but whatever it may be.
He should have been more aware of the situation.
It could have been that too, that he wasn't fully aware of the situation.
Yeah. Could it be, right? And this is a question to both of you guys. Could it be that the Yankees aren't putting him in a position to succeed?
No, I don't think that's it.
Nah.
Because here's my argument. I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Could one of you guys mute the mic just right? Okay. The reason why I'm saying that is, as the 27th man, he got called up and he's already immediately batting fifth, right in the order, right in the middle of the order. If you're good enough to bat in the middle of the order, why are you not good enough to be our everyday left fielder? So you've almost put him in a lot of pressure where he's, as a 27th man, he's only going to play for one day. He's in the middle of the order and he's going to try too hard. And I thought his at-bats were someone that was trying a little bit too hard. I almost thought that, I don't know, you're almost putting him in a position of a no-win situation. What if he went 4 for 4 with 4 home runs? He's still getting put down the next day. So that's why I don't think that the Yankees put him in a position to succeed in that position. A lot of pressure on him, and I think it was unfair. I think if you're going to call him up, you call him up for good. I know you can't do that as a 27th man, but for me, he should have been up much earlier than this. You can punt Verdugo. We don't need Verdugo. What Verdugo's giving us is absolutely nothing apart from defense. So I would just call up Dominguez. I felt that a lot of what we saw yesterday was someone that was trying a little bit too hard to succeed. And I think he overthought that situation, and it was just a rookie mistake. But we've already seen him as a rookie last year, and he was phenomenal. So he's obviously great. I think that the Yankees put him in a tough spot. But they tend to be doing that a lot. Just look at Peraza. So what's Rajil saying? Are we for real? You're going to kill Jason because he went over 4 in one game. Then he knows they're sending him back down. Way to build that confidence in your future. That's my point, Rajil. It's almost like as I say, he was in a no-win situation. If he went 4 for 4, he was still getting sent down the next day. So he was in a really tough spot. That's kind of my point. So that's just my opinion. But let's get into some of these awards. How about that? Let's get into some of these awards. So we've actually got 2 sets of awards because we didn't do last week's because we had a special guest. Salute to Spencer, who'll probably be watching either now or in the future. Salute to you, Spencer. He was a great guest last week. So anyway, we've got the White Sox Series Awards and we've got the Tiger Series Awards. And that's how we're going to close it out. So Let's start with the White Sox series. The Yankees took 2 out of 3, but got blown out in the first game in embarrassing fashion. So I remember, in fact, I hopped on with NFE and we had a good chat about that game. So let's go with the MVP of the White Sox series. My MVP is Juan Soto. 4 home runs. The guy is the GOAT. He's the king. We have to extend him, whatever it takes, whatever the price is. I don't care. Do you want $1 billion? No problem. Do you want the Empire State Building? No problem. Do you want a small island in South America? No problem. Whatever it takes, have it. Have it all. You are going to be the king of our franchise over the next 12 years. Juan Soto, MVP. Let's go with NFE.
Man, that's a tough one because Juan Soto hit 4 home runs in two games, which was incredible. And then, I mean, there's also Aaron Judge, who got his 300th career home run. So I have a hard time picking out of the two, but I got to go with Soto on that because in one of those games he hit 3 home runs. I mean, yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a Juan Soto.
Awesome. Rob is giving it to Soto. He's written in to say that it's Soto, the MVP. And what about you, Maza?
I am also giving it to Soto. He played like a man possessed against the White Sox. He single-handedly took the White Sox and wiped the floor with them. For me, it's a no-brainer. Juan Soto gets it.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to Aaron Judge on his 300th career home run, but Juan Soto's performance was like nothing we've ever seen before.
Facts, bro. Facts. Bringing the facts here. Uncle Tats loves to be a little different, and he's given MVP to Aaron Judge. So Uncle Tats is giving the MVP to Judge. Let's have a look and see what the chat says. Everyone's saying Soto. There is no question about it. Absolutely. Everyone says Juan Soto. So salute to you guys in the chat. Let's go with a low-key MVP. I'm going to keep it easy. Aaron Judge. He was awesome. The guy's never off the base. He's 100% from the base. Always on the base. He's like batting like he's batting like 500 or whatever. So he's insane. Let's go with NFE. Who's your low-key?
Yeah, low key. I'll give that to Judge. I'll give it to Judge. Yeah, Judge is really good in this series or in that series. So,
Mozzie, you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. Judge is the low key MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Uncle Tats because he gave the MVP to Judge. He gave the low key to Soto. And Rob gave the low key to Judge. Salute to Rob. And let's have a look at the chat. Judge wins. So that's nice and easy. So he's the low key. Let's go with a clutch award. I'm going to change it up a little bit. We're going to ask Maza, who wins the clutch award for the White Sox series.
Soto,
agreed. NFE.
I mean, it's hard to not give it to Soto. You got to give it to Soto.
Yeah, I agree.
Got to give it to Soto.
Clutch goes to Soto.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Lock it down. Rob is actually giving it to Wells. Wells, who will be the lesser spotted Wells now that Trevino's back and Boone gets to play his favorite guy. But he's giving it to Wells. And Uncle Tats is also giving it to Wells. Let's ask the fans, who is your clutch award winner to the fans? Let's see what the chat has got to say. Lou says Soto. CT says, when I think of Holmes, I think of clutch. Not. John says Wells with a vote each. Come on, guys. Let's break the tie. Rodney says Sunil should close.
Stop. I will leave. I will leave.
Frank
says,
says,
closer. I'm not a fan anymore.
We got it. We don't want to lose him, man. We need NFE. We can't lose him. So we kind of right. Wells wins. Wells is actually getting a ton of votes in the chat. So Wells gets his flowers. Let's go with a pitching award. I think it's probably universal, but we'll ask. I'm going to say it's Nestor Cortez.
Yes,
I mean, there's not a
100% Nestor Cortez. I mean,
No, there's no questions.
there's
Cortez.
no question. 7 innings, 9 strikeouts. How could you not go with Nestor? Nestor, he pitched better than I expected. So yeah, no, hats off to Nestor on that one. 100%.
Uncle Tat.
No, you don't.
Uncle Tat says Warren and Nestor.
Yeah, Warren.
And Rob says Nestor. And everyone says Nestor in the chat. So Nestor returns to being semi-nasty, just for the 1 star anyway.
For the 1 star.
Who gets the L?
The L, you got to give it to, on that one, I hate to say it, but you got to give it to Luis Hill.
Yeah.
That was a pretty disgusting game.
I'm with NFE on that. It's got to go to Luis Hill.
He had a rough one. I'll give you that. Let's ask the chat. Who gets your L for the White Sox series? Let's not forget that we got blown our balls off by the White Sox in Game 1. Got our balls blown off. So everyone's saying heel. It's pretty much universal. Everyone's saying heel. Let's ask Rob and Tats. The L goes to heel according to Rob, and the L goes to heel according to Uncle Tats. Excellent. I'm giving the L to Anthony Volpe, who continues to do absolutely nothing. And I'm telling you, Perez is the better player in my opinion. Anthony Volpe is in a horrendous slump. The only time I ever see him hit the ball is to the infield, and he's just bad. He's just supremely overrated, and he has a lot of work to do. I hate his swing. I hate his plate discipline. He doesn't walk. He strikes out far too much. He doesn't make any hard contact. And he just does generally nothing. He doesn't drive in runs. He doesn't hit for power. He generally does nothing on offense. He's good on defense, but he can generally do absolutely nothing, square root of nothing on offense. But Aaron Boone loves this man, so he will continue to play every single day. Lou says Volpe, absolutely. John says Volpe, absolutely. Rodney says, how could we forget Volpe? Rajil says Volpe, yes. I think Volpe's coming back. Rodney says, I think Volpe's going to win. Volpe wins. Yes. CT card, square root of zip. Anthony, Volpe is the square root of zip. Absolutely. This is where you get the truth here, guys. I don't fuck around. So the L goes to Volpe. Love it. Let's go with the Aaron Hicks Award for the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. Let's start with NFE.
The Aaron Hicks Award, the worst of the worst. My goodness, who do I pick, man? I have no idea. Mazza, if you don't mind going first, I'm gonna take a second.
That's fine. I'm gonna give it to Clay Holmes because he's been so bad of late with not being able to close down games, and it's been such a struggle to watch. I'm giving it to Clay Holmes.
Beautiful. Let's ask the fans. We've got CT saying Santos. That's a good one. That is a good one. Jill says it's wide open. It is wide open. There's a ton of candidates. You guys fire the candidates over. John says Clay Holmes for sure. Let's ask NFE.
I was thinking between Volpe and Verdugo. One of those two guys.
Good one.
Because
just give it to both of them.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, screw it. Yeah, Verdugo and his allergies.
Yeah, what is that bullshit? He's allergic to batting gloves.
He's allergic to batting gloves, and apparently his tattoos are giving him allergies too. So
he's allergic to the stuff that's in the ink for tattooing, and he's allergic to the stuff that the batting gloves are made with.
Doesn't he have a lot of tattoos?
Yeah,
Yes, he has 2 sleeves.
Would he not have figured that out before he got a lot of tattoos?
You would have thought.
you would have
Nah,
thought.
it's funny that. I think he's allergic to hitting.
Yeah. All right. So you know what? I'm gonna give my Aaron Hicks award. I'm gonna go Volpe. Just because he's been pretty piss poor lately. You know
Oh,
what I
he's
mean?
he's ass. He's
Yeah.
absolutely ass.
At least with Verdugo, at least he still provides defense in left field, which is something that the Yankees didn't have in the past. So I mean, I'll give him that. So
Yeah, he might not be the smartest. This is the smartest cookie right now is
yeah.
our Verdugo, and
Yeah.
yeah,
So
he's
I'm giving
allergic
it
to a lot of
to
things. He's allergic to offense. That's something he's also allergic to. But yeah, NFP, you're spot on, man. Let's.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like the fans have got lots of different ones, so I think you could just throw it out there. Dugo, blah blah, anybody. Let's ask Rob and Tats. Uh, the Aaron Hicks Award to Rob is De Los Santos. And he says here, he was so bad, the White Sox picked him up.
Mm-hmm.
Boom! Boom! Mic drop from my brother Rob. And yes, Rob and Tats are in agreement. Santos
Right.
is the Hicks Award winner. And I have to agree with them. I'm giving them the Aaron Hicks Award. Aaron Hicks Award goes to Santos. Santos with his 14 ERA. What an embarrassment of a human being. So, and quickly, Aaron Boone out of 10. What would you guys give him out of 10?
Go for it, Mazza.
I'll let you go first.
Oh yeah. All right. I mean, the White Sox series. Listen, how much can you blame them for that one? You know, they won 2 out of 3. They should have swept, sure, but I mean, Luis Hill had a bad game. Again, I'm trying to, you know, see like what he did. What did he do wrong?
It didn't do
I didn't
anything.
think he did. I didn't think he did anything wrong. He put out good lineups. You know, the series ended up being good, except for that one game. I mean, you can't blame Boone for Luis Hill's performance. It was just, you know, Luis Hill just had one of his bad games. The chat's probably going to attack me for this. I'd say bring it on, let's go. But I'm gonna go 8 out of 10 for this series for Boone. That was actually a good series. There's really nothing to blame him on, really. I mean, that's he. You know, I don't think he did anything wrong this series. There's really nothing. So no squeeze with me. So I'm gonna go 8.
Lou says 8. All right.
I'm going to Tennessee as well. I'm going an 8 as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Boone couldn't have done anything more than what he did, and you can't blame him for Hill's bad performance. That's on Hill.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Rob gives him a 6, and Boone gets a 5 from Uncle Tats. So you guys give him an 8. They are giving him a 6 and a 5.
Okay.
And the chat, Frank goes 4. The rest go 8. I would give him. He didn't really do anything wrong. I can't think of anything he did wrong.
Not in the White Sox series, but the Tigers series, I got a different score for that. So
for sure. I'm trying to think here. He didn't do anything necessarily wrong, but we didn't play well, and we made heavy weather of that White Sox team. So I'm giving him a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
They won the series, but they made heavy weather of it until the last game. They made really heavy weather of one of the worst teams to ever walk the earth. The White Sox aren't just a bad baseball team; they're one of the worst baseball teams in the history of the sport.
They're the Oakland A's of the Central.
Right, but they're actually much worse. Like they're like last year's A's. Yeah,
okay.
They're like last year's A's. They're on like 92 losses already, and the Yankees, they had a hell of a time. Reggie feels better. You're right. They had a hell of a time just beating them. It was hard work for them, which says it all about this Yankee team. So that's our White Sox Series awards, and I think it's time for us to get into this weekend's awards, the Tiger Series. Let's go. Hey, yo, let's do it. Let's do it. We got a lot to talk about with this Lions series. There we go. That was an NFL reference for you. This Tiger series. The Lions are actually a good team. The Tigers aren't, but the Yankees still lost 2 out of 3, and they couldn't score a run if their life depended on it this series. Let's go with the MVP. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. So I'm going to start with NFE. So you can give me a help here.
I'm gonna give it to the kids, man. That's who my MVP is going to be. I'm giving it to the kids. Let those kids deserve the MVP. Kiddos, you deserve it. You are the MVP this weekend. So thank you.
Well said, NFE.
Yeah.
I got it going to Stroman for out pitching Scooble. That is a very hard thing to do.
That's
especially
true.
for a lefty like Scooble, who's probably going to win the AL Cy Young. For him to out pitch Scooble and match him pitch for pitch, that's my MVP.
Beautiful. I love that. That's a good one. Let's ask Rob and Tats. Let's do it. What have they got to say here? Tigers. Tats gives it to Garrett Cole. And let's see what Rob has got to say about the Tigers series. He's saying Judge. So Rob's saying Judge. And Tats is going with Garrett Cole. That's a good one. Stroman was a really good shout. So for me, my MVP for this series, I am going to give it to Major League Baseball for yesterday. I'm pretty critical of Major League Baseball for the best part of a few years under Manfred, but I have to say he got it right yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because how are we going to progress the sport? How are we going to reach out to the younger generation? How are we going to make this sport as meaningful to us as it is going to be for future generations? The way to do it is games like yesterday. Have the kids interact with Yankee guys and Yankee players and Judge and Soto and Cole and all the stars. Make it feel like they're part of something special, and you're going to see a lot of those kids come through. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those kids in the stands end up having really good futures, either in the sport or in their lives, just for the fact that they interacted with their heroes. And it gives them a real positive boost for the future. And hey, you know what? You can do anything you want. Anything that you want, anything you want to achieve, you can do in this life. And just look at those guys as an example. So I think Major League Baseball got it spot on with the way that they interacted with the kids, and I thought it was a very cool event. It wasn't hokey like the Field of Dreams thing. It was actually genuine, and it came from a good place, and it's very, very good. So I have to say, Manfred got it spot on, man. That's how we're going to help teach the sport to kids and help progress the sport moving forward. No other sport has anything like what baseball did yesterday. So I'm giving the MVP to Major League Baseball. Shout out to them. The fans, a lot of different kind of options. Stroman looks like a good option there. It looks like Stroman wins, but for me, it's the MVP. Let's go with the low key. Let's start with Mazza.
So I guess my low key would be the kids for that.
Right.
For me, the kids really made it a special event. I don't know if you guys saw, but one of the kids was able to talk to Garrett Cole when he was with the announcers, and he got to ask him a question. It was a very good question, by the way. I want to point that out there. And then You got, Cole to sign his game worn hat. So the kids for me get the low key MVP.
Yeah, I like that. And if you,
Yeah, low key for me is going to be because I gave the MVP to the kids because they deserve it. The low key, I'm going to give it to Jazz Chisholm for him hanging out with the kids and for him hanging out with the folks in the stands and having a good time with them. So I mean that's a player, man. That's an awesome player. So I'm giving it to Jazz. I'm giving it to Jazz Chisholm.
and I'm gonna completely agree. My vote goes to Jazz Chisholm as
Yeah.
the low-key MVP, plus Juan Soto. Juan Soto, I believe, took an
Mm-hmm.
interview live, spoke in Spanish, and you just see how much it means to him. A, to wear the Yankee uniform. That's why I don't believe he's going to leave. And B, to interact with the kids. He's just an altogether phenomenal human, phenomenal professional who just adores what he does. Plays with a big smile on his face, Juan Soto. So for me, the low key is going to be Juan Soto and Jazz Chisholm for interacting with the kids and doing their jobs brilliantly. That's absolute icons. So we should be very, very proud to have them as the Yankees. So they get that award. Um, Uncle Tats gives it to Torres. He wasn't horrible, Torres.
No.
He normally is, but he wasn't horrible this series. I have to say, he was very, very good. So he's on to something there. Rob gives the low key to Judge. Oh no, that was for the Chicago series. I've got a ton of awards now. His low key was actually Peraza. Apologies. Peraza gets the low key from him. I like that one, which actually leads me seamlessly to the Clutch Award, and the Clutch Award for me is actually Peraza. So I'm in agreement with Rob. I'm giving Peraza the Clutch Award. He came up clutch because how else can you shut up the Yankee organization who completely disrespect you um, and uh, and don't give you the opportunity you deserve? How else can you shut them up other than hitting a home run? Aaron Boone looked nonplussed when he hit that home run. While the whole dugout was going nuts, Aaron Boone looked nonplussed. It's probably because he was thinking, "Damn, how am I going to bench him tomorrow?" But he still did. So Peraza deserves a ton of credit. He actually hit the ball very well. He hit a ball right on the screws against Screwball that was caught at the wall and a deep line drive that looked like it was going to go in the gap. It was actually well tracked down by the Tiger outfielder, but that would have been extra bases for Peraza as well. But he doesn't get any credit from the Yankees. The Yankees don't like him for whatever reason. They've already pigeonholed him into a platoon guy, which is an embarrassment when he's got a better glove than basically everybody in our infield. But he's been already automatically put in the platoon spot. Peraza's hit the ball harder than Volpe and DJ LeMahieu combined over the last 2 months. None of them have hit the ball as hard as Peraza hit that ball hard for a home run. But hey, it's different standards for different people. Peraza has to go 10 for 10 or you'll never see him. Volpe can go 2 for 40 and he'll play every single day. That's just the truth. You can argue all you want, but that's the facts. Let's go with the Fortrain Clutch
So
Award.
I've got two. One is Peraza for definitely his performance in that Detroit series. Hit the ball well, really showed us how well he can play, and he really shined in that series. So I really like that. And this one's an interesting one, and I'm probably gonna get some shit for it, but bring it on. Um, and I know this didn't hold up, but I'm gonna give it to DJ because he drove in the run in the 10th, which was eventually thrown away. But I'm gonna
Facts.
give it to DJ because you know what? He came up clutch in that 10th inning when he drove in Volpe. So Peraza and DJ get the clutch awards for me this week.
I really like that one. That's a great one. In fact, Uncle Tats agrees with you. Uncle Tats gave the award to DJ LeMahieu. NFB, who is your Clutch Award winner?
Yeah, I mean, Mazza made a great point about DJ because he did come through when it mattered. But I'm gonna give it a Peraza, man, just because he hit that solo shot. But I want Peraza to be playing, man. I'm with you. I want him to be playing. I want him in that infield. So
Yeah,
uh, yeah, I'm gonna give it to Peraza.
yeah, I agree. Spot on. Rob gives the clutch award to Jazz for interacting with the little leaguers all game. So Rob's absolutely on our wavelength with that one. Uh, Jazz Chisholm is just such a cool dude. I believe that he's gonna, as I say earlier, that he's gonna give any help required to these kids. One of the kids that is one of his favorite players, he's gonna give anything he needs, any help, any baseball equipment. It's all gonna come from Jazz Chisholm's pocket. It just shows what a great guy we have.
He's a class act, Jazz Chisholm.
He really is, man. Spot on, spot on. The pitching awards. Let's go with Mazza.
I'm going to give it to Cole and Stroman for both their performances. Cole really stepped it up when we needed him to. He came through, and then Stroman with another fantastic outing, out pitching Scooble. Again, it's not very often that you get to hear someone who out pitches the potential AL Cy Young winner. So Stroman and Cole get my votes.
I think you're spot on, man. And in fact, I'm going to agree with you. That's my vote. Cole and Stroh get my pitching award. Let's go with NFE.
I got to give it a Stroman, man. I mean, Cole. Listen, I could give Cole the pitching award many times. I mean, it's Garrett Cole. He's the ace, but I got to give it a Cole. I got to give it a Stroman. He kept up with Scooble. He pitched 6 innings, didn't give up any runs. I gotta give it a Stroman, man. He had a solid start. That was a solid outing by Stroman. So I'm giving it to him.
Yeah, totally. He was phenomenal. He did a beautiful job.
He did better than I expected.
Yeah, he pitched phenomenally in a really tough spot.
Yeah,
but he showed up and showed out, and this shows what he's got, man. He's got a lot of moxie, Stroman. He had a really tough stretch, but he stepped it up over his last 2 outings. So I have to give him credit for that. Let's have a look at what Rob and Tats have got to say about the pitching. Rob says Cole and Stroman, nice and easy, and Tats goes Stroman. So basically across the board, it's Stroman. Let's see what the fans have got to say. Yep, it's all Stroman.
yeah.
So that's a good one. Oh, Egyptian actually had a good point here. Glaber hustled to score a pass ball, so he could be potentially a clutch award winner for that.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually heads up base running from Glaber Torres. I'm very critical of the fact that he's normally a space cadet, but he has been kind of locked in lately, and he's been playing much better. He's been hitting the ball well, and that was heads up base running. He's not a fast guy, but he scored in a spot where it took a lot of balls to go for it. So credit to him for that. But anyway, let's go with the Aaron Boone rating out of 10. Now, NFE, you got a different rating for him, so let's start with NFE.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give him a 4 on this one.
Yep. How come?
I didn't like the lineup particularly yesterday. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but and just I didn't like Saturday, man. There was it was bad. Friday was like the only highlight, really, man. But other than that, it was just I don't. The thing is, like, I know I don't bash Aaron Boone as much as other people do, but I don't always agree with his decisions either. But I get critical of him at times. I do. But yeah, I'm gonna give him a 4 just because I just I feel like Austin Wells should have been playing yesterday. I feel like he should have played. I'm not surprised that he wasn't in the lineup. I'll be honest with you, but he should have played. I mean, you could say that Ben Rice should have played, but he wasn't in the lineup either. Yeah, I mean, you could argue Ben Rice should have played, but then again, I don't know. He hasn't been playing well, but it's like who else do they have? I mean, they don't really have a lot of options at first base. So yeah, I don't know. It just was overall, it was just a piss poor series. So
it was.
Yeah. So that's my thing with Boone.
Like NFP, I don't bash Aaron Boone as much as other people would like, but I'm giving him a lower rating. I'm giving him a 1.
Woo!
All right.
I don't understand what the obsession with Jose Trevino is. I don't understand the obsession. I've never understood the obsession with Jose Trevino. He has a below average arm and a below average bat. I don't understand what Trevino brings to the table when you've got a guy in Austin Wells who's been the hottest hitting catcher in the majors since he started getting everyday playing time. I don't understand the obsession with him. I will never understand the obsession with him. And Wells should be the starter. I don't care if, Trevino plays every, fourth or fifth day, but Wells has to be the starter. Peraza should have been in there yesterday.
He was.
He was?
Raza was in the lineup. Oswaldo Cabrera.
They pinch hit him like midway through.
Yeah.
Well, Peraza should have started all 3 games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wells should have started all 3 games. I don't care if it's a day game after a night game. Fuck that. Don't give me this analytics bullshit that we have to have Trevino start because it's a day game after. No, don't give me that bullshit. He's getting paid big bucks to go catch. Let him go do his job. So for me, Aaron Boone gets a 1 out of 10.
Facts, man. Facts. I agree with that. The chat are particularly vociferous in their rage for Aaron Boone. John goes -10. Rodney goes -2. Dev goes 0. Nosebleed goes 3. Everyone getting their Boone ratings in and hard. Boone's score should be shared with the puppet masters on the front office. Yeah, I'm gonna give him. Well, I'll go in between you guys. I'll give him a 3 out of 10. I'm giving him a 3. So I'm gonna give him a little kudos for the fact that we saw a bit of Peraza, which is 2 more than I ever thought that we would ever see him, because we know how much the Yankees play favorites, and for some reason Peraza is just like treated like yesterday's garbage. For whatever reason, he's a top prospect, but hey, we don't make the rules. We saw him a little bit, but we also saw Dominguez, which is great. But again, it was almost like a no-win situation. The guy had to go 4 for 4 or 0 for 4. Wouldn't have mattered. He was still getting sent down the next day. I know that was part of the rules, but it's still kind of weird. I felt like he was in a tough spot there. If you're going to make that move, I think you'd have him in lower in the order so there's not so much pressure on him. So I really think that Aaron Boone just doesn't know what to do with these kids. He doesn't know. Like Austin Wells, why did he not play? He's been their 3rd best hitter on the team since Trevino got hurt.
Also, Donald, he's been the best hitting catcher in baseball
Boom.
since Trevino went down.
Boom. 3rd best hitter in the team behind Judge and Soto, who are both historic and generational. Wells is just behind him. And as Mazda rightly points out, he's like the hottest catcher in baseball right now. And what does Boone do to him? He unclutches him, unhots him. He makes him cold as ice.
Catcher of the Month award for July.
Right. And he sits him. Why? I mean, why? I mean, if you're worried about him catching a day after a night game, there's a DH spot open. But there's really no reason to be forcing Trevino in. Now, Trevino did call a good game. I'll give him that. You can make that argument. His framing was excellent yesterday. Not a problem with that. But the truth is, Wells is your future. The Yankees aren't worried about that. Peraza should be our future. The Yankees aren't worried about that. They play favorites, and that's just the way it is. And that's why this team didn't succeed. That's why this team hasn't been succeeding. Because of the way that they manage guys. Volpe can seemingly do whatever the hell he wants. Remember when he dropped that pop-up? Was that in this series or the
That
series?
was no, that was in the Tiger series.
That was the Tiger series where he
Yeah,
dropped
the series, yeah.
Twice.
That was so again, it's one of those. So back to kind of what we were talking about, right, Donald, at the beginning of the show. I'm not excusing Clay Holmes by no means, but it's one of those situations where you got to make that play. If you're going to cut somebody off like that, you're going to cut off Peraza like the way you did. You better make that play.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but this is where I'm just like, hey, the infield, they need to make that play. So that one annoyed me because I'm like,
yeah, drop pop-ups. So just
you make that play. Like, come on,
you have to.
Anyway,
very, very poor. Let's have a look at the rest of the awards. Let's go with the L. Who gets the L? Let's start with Mazza.
A couple people get the L for me. Anthony Volpe, for one. You can't cut off your teammate like that and not make the play. You got to make that play. Yep. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you're a fucking Hall of Famer. You cut someone off, you got to be making the play.
Yep.
That's for one. Two, Clay Holmes. Couldn't lock the door, couldn't shut the door. Got the first two outs quite easily. Couldn't get the third out. Blew the save. To me, that's the other L.
Spot on. NFE.
The offense gets the L.
Yep.
5 runs this entire series, unacceptable. Unacceptable. You can't score 5 runs in 3 games. I mean, I know it happens, but that was bad. That was bad.
Horrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. So I'm gonna go offense on for the L.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Let's ask my man Tats what he has for his L. His L. He didn't actually put it in. That's great. L goes to Luis Heel. Rob has Heel getting the L for the White Sox series. We already covered that. His L goes to Leiter. He says, I miss Jack Neely. Spot on. Boone gets 1 out of 10, according to Rob. I agree with that too. And his Hicks Award is Mr. 10 blown saves, Clay fucking Holmes. That leads us seamlessly into the Aaron Hicks Award. But for me, my L will be going to... I have to give it to Leiter. Leiter's a freaking joke now. It's just beyond a joke with Leiter. It's got a 6 ERA. But what are we doing here? 6 ERA for Leiter. Terrible. Let's go to the Aaron Hicks Award. Let's start with Fortune.
The offense.
Yep.
The offense gets it. The offense, not including Wells, Peraza, Judge, and Soto, look like Aaron Hicks. They don't do shit at the plate, or they didn't do shit at the plate. You score 5 runs against a team that's not great, but you should be, pounding around a little bit. They couldn't do it. It's one day they want to score 10 runs, and then the next day they want to score none. That's not how you win ball games. Unacceptable. 5 runs against the Tigers in this series. The Aaron Hicks Award for me goes to the offense.
John Beagle does right. We don't climb out of holes. He's spot on for that. NFB, who is your Aaron Hicks Award winner?
Man, just because of doing what he did to Peraza, cutting him off twice and then missing that pop-up, I'm going to give it a Volpe on this one, man. I mean, he hasn't – and in this series, he hasn't played well. And then, you make an error like that. You cut off Peraza. It's like, dude, you can't be doing that. So I'm going to give it a Volpe on this one. And I don't give him bad awards usually, but
no,
this one kind of – he takes this award for sure.
Oh, he takes the biscuit for that play. I don't know why he cut
Yeah.
off Peraza. I mean, that's just
That was ridiculous.
it. Really was. That can't happen.
Hmm.
But I'm going to give the Aaron Hicks Award to, as Rob says, Mr. 10 blown saves. Because as bad as Volpe's been, and he's been really bad. And to be honest, I think Peraza should be taking some of his time at shortstop. But as bad as he's been, Clay Holmes is the reason why we lost yesterday. He blew the save.
Yeah.
Lyers did the same thing. Literally, I went for a piss. For 15 seconds, I came back and he'd blown the save. So, I mean, it was just fucking ridiculous.
Well,
So,
Leiter should have never even been put in that situation in the first place. That was not.
No.
I wouldn't have put him in there.
That's not a situation Leiter should have been in.
Yeah, that's not a situation you should have put him in. That was wrong. I would have probably put somebody else in that situation. But
Yeah.
then again, we probably would be sitting here saying that, oh, well, this person blew it. So unfortunately, Leiter is getting the heat for it. But again, I wouldn't have put him in that situation.
I would have put in Tonkin in that situation.
Agreed. 100% there, Mazza. 100%.
Oh, yeah, there's better options, man. It's a great option.
Absolutely.
And John the Beagle said, I wish my dad was still here with us. He would love chatting with you guys. Well, salute to you. And,
Salute to you and your father, man.
And your father, man. Best wishes. I will bet Volpe wasn't talked to after cutting off Peraza. It's just weird, man. But that's what I'm saying. It just seems to be different rules for different guys. Because if Peraza did that, you'd never see him again for the rest of his career as a Yankee. It's just different rules for different guys. But that will close us off for the awards. Big salute to everyone in the chat who gave us their awards and their support and always riding with us. We love you guys. Let's get the final thoughts from. Let's start with Mazza. What was your final thoughts and what are your expectations for the season to come, series to come? I should say.
Well, we got a big series coming up with Cleveland. This is a time where you put up or shut up. This was a bad, series with Detroit. You know what? Suck it up. We fucked it away. Time to come back, play better. Like I said, we got a big series with Cleveland at home. This is where you either play like you did in Philly, and I don't care that they were on a downslide. They were still the best team in baseball. You either play like you play in Philly, or you play like you played against Detroit and Chicago. End of story. Suck it up, come out, play better.
Facts. NFB, final thoughts.
Final thoughts, man. I mean, look, Tiger series, it's done. It's over. Move on. Nothing we could do about it. As much as we are upset, we can complain about it. The results are the results. Get over it. Let's move on because they got the Guardians coming to town, and that's going to be a crucial series. So I'd be satisfied with 2 out of 3 against the Guardians, but that's not going to be an easy series.
Oh, no.
The Guardians have been well, although I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they got swept by the Diamondbacks, right?
Yes.
This past weekend, or was it the series before?
Might have been the series before.
Okay. So, I mean, let's see what happens. I know their pitching is kind of iffy, but they got some bats on that team. They got their offense is pretty damn good. The other thing too is let's hope with some of these arms coming back, it's going to help out the bullpen in the long run down the stretch, because there are some big names that are coming back, and we do forget these arms. I mean, I'm still iffy on Efros, but there's Ian Hamilton, Nick Birdy. Let's not forget Cody Poteet. These are some big names, and they can truly help out the bullpen. The injuries have plagued the bullpen, so and it sucks because it's putting a lot of weight on these guys. Let's hope these reinforcements come back sooner rather than later. And then the offense, they need to do better. I mean, the 5 runs over those 3 games against the Tigers was unacceptable. You can't do that with a team like the Guardians that are coming up. So they better get their asses into shape and make something happen. So that's all I'm going to say with that about that.
So great point.
Mhm.
NFE, tell the viewers when we can see you next streaming with the Strike Zone.
Oh yeah, so folks, I do have hopefully right because it was supposed to happen on Thursday, but unfortunately, the person got busy and they got slammed. I'm supposed to be interviewing Major League Baseball agent Andy Moda later today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And shout out to Nitin Ramachandra and his team for making that happen. I was supposed to interview him on Thursday, but he got slammed with work. So we just talked. I just still ran a show, still just talked about whatever. We talked about football, food, we talked about so much. So it's just like a bunch of random stuff. So hopefully Andy Moda, Nitin told me it's on Andy's calendar. He knows. So I'll be talking with him. I'm excited for that one because he's an agent. I want to see what kind of what goes on with agents and players and GMs and teams. And I'm curious. I'm going to ask him some questions.
It's very interesting. I would be fascinated to see how it works.
And if you don't mind, if I can jump on with you later on that, because I'm gonna have some time today.
Yeah. So 5 p.m. East Coast time. Yeah, if you want to jump on, that's fine. But I'm excited to talk to him. He did play Major League Baseball at one point, but after his career, he became an agent. And from what I read, he's a senior VP at the Wasserman Group. So the Wasserman Group they're a pretty well-known agency. A lot of players are signed with them. So I'm interviewing with them tomorrow. Sorry for my long speech here, but I'm also going to go live, as you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays, my morning shows. You already know the deal, folks. And then pre-games, you all already know about the pre-games. I go live pretty much every day, so there's really not a day off for me, unless I even go live on Saturday mornings like that. I'm like wired, so you can find me going live every day.
I do want to say, man, you're putting in some really good work. The growth of your channels, a credit to yourself, and the interviews that Nathan and yourself have set up is just a real credit to you guys at your channel. So can't speak highly enough of what you're doing over there, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah. Well, folks in the chat, I know most of you guys are subscribed. I know all the names here, but if you guys could spread the word, that'd be awesome. Just because I'm trying to get to 900, and then also let's get this channel to 800. Damn it, let's get this channel to 800 subscribers. Come on, let's get them there.
We're climbing, baby. We're climbing. Yeah. So everybody, listen to my man NFE here and hit the sub button for us, and let's climb up to 800 as the next milestone. My final thoughts are. Listen, I'm not surprised that we lost the Tigers series, purely because they've got great pitching, and the Yankees don't do great against lefties. They can't hit lefties, so it wasn't a great matchup for us. They don't hit the Tigers, but they have good pitching, and they've got an experienced manager, and those two things are never usually a good combination for the Yankees right now. The Yankees just didn't play that. They didn't play that badly. It was just the same problems continue to come back and bite them in the ass. But we do have some relievers due to come back. We got Poteet. I'm a big fan of Poteet. I love Birdie. He's really good. And I love Hamilton. He's really good. We just need to get them in a position to succeed. We need to have more accountability, and we need to have this team become a meritocracy if we're going to do anything at all in October. But we're not that far off, man. We aren't. We've got like the joint best record in baseball somehow. But if they don't solve this bullpen situation, they ain't doing shit in October. That's just the cold hard facts. So I want to say a big salute to everyone in the chat for hanging with us. We've gone over by about 45 minutes, but we had so much to talk about, and it was a lot of fun hanging out with my man Mazza and if you good to see Mazza again, man. It's been a long time. Hop on anytime. So big salute to you guys. Big salute to everyone in the chat. As Tad says here, 716.
I typed that in for you. That was
me. Did you? Good stuff.
That was me.
Let's say a big salute to everyone, all our content creators who do such great work for the Yankees, doing Yankee shows, and all my guys here doing it too. So big salute, and we'll see you on the next show. Peace!